We see you getting after your fitness goals. But what about those money goals? You can count on Credit Karma for a clear view of your finances and your progress, helping you see results so you can keep checking off those financial personal bests and find your way to money. Progress never felt so good. Download the Intuit Credit Karma app and start achieving your money goals today. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to When Reality Hits. Jax is actually back this time. He has been out of here for the past 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be back. I've been doing a lot of traveling. It's been a lot of fun, but I'm excited to be back here. It's been a minute. Got to get everybody caught up on what's going on the show. Got a lot of questions to answer. Got a lot to get into, so let's get into it.
We'll see how this goes. The Valley.
Okay, yeah, first things first. Congratulations. We got picked up for season 2.
Season 2 is happening. Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm very, very excited. Just very proud of everybody. I thought it was a great show. I'm looking forward to getting back to filming again. We had a really, really good time, and I'm excited for the future and what we got going on.
Yeah, we're just grateful everybody's loving the show, and season 2 is going to be interesting. So much has changed, and I just, here we go.
Yeah,
here we go again.
I'm very, very excited. There's been a lot of gossip on what's going on and what we're going to do and who's going to come back and stuff like that. But yeah, we're just excited. So
it is true. We aren't having a reunion, but it is true that we got picked up for season 2.
Yeah,
so we're so happy.
So anyway, that's what's going on right now. I don't know. What did everybody think about Watch What Happens Live? I thought we did really good. I predicted that Watch What Happens Live was going to be the most watched, and it was.
Oh, Lord. Here he goes.
It was. What's wrong with that?
You just can't fit your head through the freaking door.
I just thought it was going to be a big one. I thought it was going to be a really popular episode. Obviously, I was a little nervous.
It was also the season finale of Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, but I was a little nervous going into it. I wasn't really sure what to expect. Tom hasn't been on the show for a very, very long time, and I knew he was going to be a good buffer. I knew he was going to be a buffer, and it went really, really well, though. I think he handled all his questions very well. I don't think he was very defensive at all. I think it went very smooth. Okay, really? Did you watch it?
I saw pieces of it, but no, I didn't watch it.
It was really good. And I think a lot of people liked it. I
was at Sheena's birthday party, which was so fun, and then we went to Jax's at the end of the night for a little bit. So, when you're in like the bar, it's kind of hard to watch it with so much other stuff going on, We've been having absolutely amazing watch parties, and I think everybody's been having a lot of fun going to them. The bar was absolutely busy as ever again, and I just really, really appreciate everybody showing up. It's been absolutely amazing. So we got a few more episodes to go. I'm going to try to make the last, I think, we got 3 or 4 episodes left. I'm going to try to make them all. And we'll have to do something big for the finale.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a big finale party for sure. So if you guys haven't made any watch parties thus far, try to make it to the finale one. I will have a big one. So let's get into...
I think there's some things that you need to clear up.
What?
From this episode of The Valley.
Okay.
You straight up lied to everybody and said, Brittany told me that Michelle has been... texting guys or something.
No.
But you literally said to Kristen that my wife said.
No, that's not how I said it.
But that's what you said on the show.
Okay, I'm going to
clear this. So you need to explain yourself, because I want to make this very clear. I never told Jax anything about Michelle. I never told anyone anything about Michelle. And you can definitely tell even on the show, like, I'm not the one spreading things around. I'm not the one telling people. I literally had no part of any of this. So I just want to make that very, very, very clear, because I love Michelle, and I just feel like that was so unfair that now people are trying to say that I started a rumor where I definitely did not and would never.
No, I never said you started the rumor. What happened was...
You basically said those exact words on the show. You need to address it because it makes me look bad, and it's not true.
I know that's not what happened. So there was a pool party here going on at night. I came home one night, and Kristen was at the counter. And I'm going to make it very clear. Luke said this a couple episodes ago. Kristen gets drunk and doesn't remember what she says. So we came to the counter at my house. I came home. It was like 8:00. The girls were in the pool. Kristen was at the counter. We were talking, whatever. Then she told me right at the counter. That's when she told me. So then a couple days went by, and then I knew I had to film a scene, and I knew they were going to have to bring it up. And I told you what Kristen told me. I told you that Kristen said what was it about again? I can't remember.
I can't even remember if it's texting a guy or talking to a guy. I don't know what it was. Something about Michelle.
Let me finish.
Basically cheating.
Let me finish. So I told you when everybody left the next day, you're like, oh, what were you guys talking about? I told you this is what Kristen told me. And then a couple days later, I had to film the scene, and you said, don't bring that up. If she doesn't remember, it's really not worth it to talk about it again. And I agreed, but I kind of had an idea that they were going to make me bring this up. So when we went to go film,
they wouldn't even know it existed, though.
What?
They wouldn't even know this conversation existed if one of you guys didn't.
No, they had rumors of this circulating that Kristen was talking about this. There was rumors of this circulating.
But why would you say straight up that my wife said
you told me not to bring it up if she doesn't remember.
But I didn't say anything.
That's as far as I got to go. So we'll go to the next thing. I'm just letting you know. Kristen did tell me. But Brittany told me not to bring it up again after I told her. She's like, don't bring it up. It's really not worth it. We don't need another argument. It's just not worth it. But unfortunately, we do film scenes that I do have to talk about things that are being circulated. So that's how I brought it up. That's why I was like, oh man, Brittany's going to be mad because she told me not to bring this up again. And obviously Kristen didn't remember, but it is.
Well, I just don't like being accused of like throwing my friends under the bus. I'm not that type of person.
And I didn't mean to do that. I didn't want to throw you under the bus, and that wasn't my intention. The only thing that you told me to do was not to bring it up again after I told you. But again, unfortunately, we are filming a TV show and there's things that we have to talk about. And I had to bring it up, even though you said...
Kristen says that this is not how it happened.
Well, Kristen tends to forget things that she says. So,
all right, well, that's between you two.
That's right. So we're moving on. What did you think about Jason and Janet's party? Did you think... Well, Jason and Janet's party, the part that you were there.
The hibachi?
Yeah. I mean,
I loved it. I love hibachi. Like, normally I would like thrive on a game night and stuff.
Did you think it was a smart idea to drink that drink if you knew you were going to get sick?
I didn't know I was going to get sick. I hadn't had a single drink all day. So all I did was take a sake shot that everybody at the table had. Right. I thought I would be okay just from having one little sip of it.
You know, in your past, drinking stuff like that sometimes doesn't agree with your stomach.
Yeah, but I hadn't had anything else to drink that entire day or the day before. So it was like I didn't think that having one little sip of that was going to really affect my stomach the way that it did. Just like I can't drink champagne, wine, anything like that.
Yeah. So going forward, you should probably never drink anything else again other than tequila, if that's what you're thinking.
I mean,
right?
Tequila doesn't hurt my stomach like that, but I mean, you made it almost look like that I had a drinking problem on a freaking national TV show. No, like, it's serious. Like, you have to address these things. It's not okay.
I'm addressing it. I'm not saying you have a drinking problem, but there's just been times where it's been a lot.
How about the nights that you go out all night and don't come home and have ragers and stay out till 6 a.m. and are horrible hungover the next day?
That's true. Probably I'm not the best person either to talk about it.
It's just not very nice to put this like outlook of somebody who is your wife. I don't appreciate that.
I know, you're right, and I apologize. So what did you think about the game? Did you watch it?
I did watch it. I love Jared. He's like one of the most positive, like, happy people ever. So he makes everything so fun.
The game was a lot of fun. I think
I wish I could have been there for that because I'm so competitive and I love game night.
And that's the reason why I was really mad, because again, this was a couples thing and you had to bow out and I'm stuck by myself, and it was just kind of like this was whole plan for couples. So it was kind of frustrating to me. So I have a right to be frustrated. The game. You
also need to help somebody if they're not feeling sick. Like anytime you're sick, I'd like to do everything for you. You know. I just hope that you see things whenever you watch it back.
Is this going to be a drag Jax down the whole podcast?
No, I'm just like, I'm watching the same show that everybody else is watching. Like, it's sad to see.
I think I wouldn't change anything, to be honest.
See?
So I think the game was pretty good. I think Zach and I did pretty good considering that you weren't there. I thought he knew pretty much about me. I think I answered a lot of the questions correctly. So I guess I just want to know, because I've started catching up on all the shows because I've been traveling so much. So I didn't really get to see what's been going on. But what is the latest right now with Kristen and Janet? Where do they stand?
I mean, right now, I just feel like that they still haven't really got a chance to talk to each other. So hopefully that'll be something that they can talk about and go through for season 2. But
we're not filming right now. We haven't been filming for a while. So where have they been?
I think that they're just in an awkward place. They're just in an awkward place. So they haven't really been around each other. They talked a little bit at the premiere party, and that was pretty positive. But they haven't been consistently talking or anything just yet. So we'll see. Hopefully we can mend some friendships soon.
So Janet doesn't talk to Kristen right now at all?
Not really. I mean, every now and then
What about Kristen and Michelle?
No, they don't. They don't talk.
They don't talk at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So
it's going to be interesting. But I love them all. So it's hard.
What did you which is really, really hard for me doing this. I had to be the messenger about this when you guys saw the baby moon situation. So Kristen had I just watched the episode, don't know really what that was. That was a launch party / sample party.
She was relaunching James May.
I don't really know how it went because there was a tattoo parlor going on.
It was cute. It was a good party.
It was really cute. I just didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, it was a relaunch for James May because she started a long time ago, but she was kind of rebranding and relaunching.
Okay, so did she sell any of the clothes there when she was launching it?
No, she was giving it away for free to like get the word out about her new product.
Okay, so I was unaware of that, and it was unclear too. A lot of people were asking me like, "What is going on here?" There's a bake sale going on. There was a tattoo shop going on. Then there was a conversation about not going to the baby moon, and then there was like a small rolling rack with about 10 items on it. Like, what was going on at this party?
I was just showing the new designs. I thought it was
great. They
were
the exact same pieces that we've seen the last...
No, it wasn't, Jax. You're being a hater.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying what people are asking. I was agreed. I didn't understand what was going on, too. But I hope her clothing line does good. What bothered me is when they did a flashback with Katie. And then Katie goes, anybody can do this. You can go on Etsy and just slap a logo on it. I thought that was exceptionally rude because Katie always is she's such a hater. And she just has to, like, bring her 2 cents. Well, like, Katie, if
that was something that was said years ago, though. I don't really think it's, like, irrelevant to right now. That would be like them popping up one of your old quotes that you said 10 years ago and people getting mad about it all over again.
Well, she did the same thing with something about her. She did a clothing line. She slapped a logo on some brand of clothing line.
I'm just saying that was something that was said years ago on Vanderpump Rules. It wasn't something that was currently said, is all I'm saying. No, so no need to get, like, mad about it.
I've been mad at Katie, and it's very known that I've been mad at Katie.
I can't with all this drama.
Well, then you're on the wrong show. So what did you think about the baby moon situation? Like, what did you think about the party? What did you think about the event? What did you think about the way it was handled?
Great. I thought it was cute. I think that it was kind of weird that we were basically set up in Coliseum seating for you to tell everybody that Kristen and Luke and Zach weren't coming to the baby moon. It was very odd.
Well, yeah.
Situation.
Unfortunately,
and of course, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm sorry that we had to tell you guys whenever I'm not even the one who told.
I'm not sorry about it. I got thick skin and I've been dealing with this for 10 years, so it doesn't bother me. I think I'm just kind of the scapegoat.
I just don't like people's feelings getting hurt either way.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. If you don't want to get hurt, then they should handle it themselves. So I kind of just wanted to say what was going on. I kind of did the dirty work for Janet. I didn't mind doing it. And I was awfully sweaty. I don't know if you saw
I feel like you were like kind of happy to get into the middle of the drama.
Well, I mean, I'm always a part of the drama some way or shape or form. And I kind of wasn't into a lot of it this season. So I was like, okay, I don't mind, tagging in a little bit for this. But it's kind of unfortunate. I wasn't fortunate. I really would like it if Kristen and Zach would have been there. I think they bring a lot to the show. And I think they're funny. Zach can be funny at times, and I thought it would have been fun, but I understand too at the same thing that Janet was pregnant and she didn't want the stress, and I get that too. And it wasn't our baby moon; it really wasn't our decision. So again, I was just the messenger, and I was just doing as they asked, and it sucked, but hopefully they can squash things so we don't have any more events without people not included.
Yeah. But I mean, also like when we're filming a show, like you get to watch it as a TV show, but like in real life, it felt very much like, and I love Kristen, she knows this, but it did feel like at that time that Kristen was going after Michelle really hard, and that's why they felt so uncomfortable.
I really think...
Like now we know that like you're the one who started the Michelle rumor at the lunch, and like there's like more things that are like...
I didn't start that.
Well, you said it first on camera, but then like I think that there was just a lot of different things going on. Like a lot of people were still mad that Kristen brought up the R-word stuff at the girls' night. So there was a lot of pressure and like weird feelings while we were filming it, because then you watch it all as a show and you're like, oh, I see where this came from, or oh, I saw where that comes from. But we don't watch it as a show. We're living it in real life. So all I knew was what I was hearing from everybody around. Do you know what I mean?
And I've literally said, and I think Michelle's a wonderful person, but I probably said 30 words to her my entire life. She's just not a very talkative person
Michelle's
to me.
Really close to me.
So yeah. She's never really told me, I don't know anything about her. So I doubt that she would tell something that secretive to me. So that's why I was like, that's impossible. Even Jesse's like, we've said 20 words to her. I'm like, I don't talk to her. Nothing against her. We just don't talk that much. That's all.
It's always me and Michelle hanging out.
Yeah. It's always you, Michelle. And like I said, Michelle's a lovely person and I like her a lot, but she's just, we just.
And I feel bad because I feel like she just is looking like she's different than she is in real life. Michelle is literally so sweet and so nice to everybody.
Everybody's so sweet.
And it just like a lot of things just happened to kind of be like turned on her this season, which we didn't really expect. And I think that that's what people don't understand, because that's not even how her personality is at all. I think
she did really, really good. I was watching back a few episodes.
Everybody's done great.
The Capri episode. Man, I didn't realize how bad it got at my Zion party, because I was kind of sitting at the table and I didn't leave the table when you guys were having that argument in the hallway. And I was looking back on that. I'm like, wow, that got really aggressive out there.
Yeah, you weren't even out there to protect me whenever I was getting pummeled in the hallway.
I'm like, damned if I do, damned if I don't. If I get involved, people yell at me. If I don't get involved, people yell at me. I cannot win no matter what I do. It's fine.
I could take it for myself. I'm from the country. I've gotten right in the middle of many fights to try to separate. Like, it doesn't scare me. Adrenaline just picks up and I just run in to try to help.
I just think it was best for me to not get involved. I mean, it was my event, and I just was kind of going through all that, the high of that, and I know that was going on, and the things that were going on really didn't pertain to me that much. So, I think I'm just going to sit here and be quiet and not say anything. I'm going to let everybody else kind of handle this. So, and that's usually not my MO. I usually am involved, but I just thought, at this point, I just don't think it's right for me to get involved. I'll let you guys handle it. But like I said, I watching the flashbacks and saw you guys in the hallway. I was like, wow, this was like really aggressive. Just to get back to the baby moon thing again, I think I think Kristen should have just listened to Zach, because Zach had a really good point. He's like, why don't you just invite them to the James May event?
That could have opened a lot of doors.
That could have opened a lot of doors. And I felt so bad for Zach because he was crying, he was emotional. And to be honest, I don't know the details so much of why Janet and Zach are still not friends, but he was just so hurt by this. And I felt like he was trying to play both sides. He was trying to help Kristen. He's trying to help Janet. He's trying to almost be Switzerland. And I felt like he just kind of, he was collateral damage. I felt like he was collateral damage because he was helping Kristen set up her event. So again, I felt bad. Now I'm watching back and I saw Zach get really emotional because Zach wants to be included. And, all of us did move to the Valley, and sometimes we lost some friendships that we had that from Hollywood, and sometimes he feels left out. And I don't want that. I love Zach, and I don't want him to be involved in everything.
I think him and Janet have just had this weird up and down relationship for so long. And then the Kristen stuff just made it be like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I think that's, a good point. I hope that one day we can all figure this out.
So how was...
I see both sides for sure. I see both sides.
Just to change it up a bit, how was Vegas? So I really haven't talked to you about Vegas. How was it? Did you have a good time?
Oh my gosh!
I know it was canceled, right?
Yeah. So I was in Vegas this past week. For those of you who don't know, my best friend Kara, it was her birthday on May 5th. So me, Kara, my friend Alex we're all from Winchester, been besties since we were 4 years old. My friend Lindy and her husband Justin, we were roommates in college. So a bunch of my friends from years and years and years ago. And then we also met up with Sheena and Lala up there. And we were all going to go to the festival together. I got hooked up for everything. It was going to be the best time ever. And we get it's 12 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night. And we start getting emails that the Lovers and Friends festivals was canceled. It was heartbreaking. But we turned it around. We had the best time. I stayed at the Cassie beach club all day, and that's in they redid the Virgin Hotel. It used to be Hard Rock, I think.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I stayed, and that's where we just ended up doing a huge pool party, watched the Derby. We ended up having so much fun no matter what. I went to Thunder from Down Under, got pulled on stage.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I got pulled on stage. We went to that with everybody and Sheena and Lala. It was so fun.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I had a great time. He motorboated, or what is it called? Motorboat. He motorboated my boobs.
Naked?
No, I wasn't naked. I had on
I
had on pants and a bodysuit top, but it was a lot of fun.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that.
Well, now you know. It was fun though. But yeah, and we also went to this place called Playground, which is an adult playground. I don't know if you saw my stories or not, but it's an adult playground. It had a 3-story slide. It had a huge, big bouncy house. It had life-size Operation, all these different games that you can play. And there's 3 or 4 bars. You can get cotton candy, popcorn. And we ended up going there too. And it was so cool and so much fun. I mean, it was crazy.
Sounds like a good time.
A big playground, but only for adults. It was awesome.
That sounds fun.
We were jumping around. It was, so we ended up making the best out of the festival being canceled. But, I think I've talked about how excited I was for Lovers and Friends on a couple episodes. Because, it was Usher, Janet Jackson, Lil Wayne, 3LW, 98 Degrees, so many people. And we were so looking forward to it. Pretty Ricky, Ludacris. I could go on and on. But we did end up seeing Yin Yang Twins at Marquee. So that was cool. Shout out to Mike Snedeker for setting everything up. You're the best.
Mike is such a great guy.
I love you.
Hey, just on a side note, if there was a question, if you could bring in somebody to the next season of The Valley, who would it be? Who would you bring in? Not from Vanderpump Rules. I personally don't think we need to bring in anybody from Vanderpump Rules over. But who would you bring in that is our friends that oh, you know what? They would have been good on our show. that we hang out with on a regular basis, because I don't bring in anybody that we don't hang out with on a regular basis, because I like the show that our shows. I mean,
Sheena and Lala are my closest friends aside from this group right here.
Yeah, but I'm trying to not make this Vanderpump.
Well, I would love it still, but I'm trying to think who else would we bring in? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one we would have to actually think about.
Yeah, we have a couple meetings that I have to go deal with that we're trying to think if there was somebody else, other groups of couples that, we can bring in that would be organic and feel right. But I mean, a lot of people are asking me, and I'm getting a lot of comments about, is anybody from Vanderpump Rules going to come over? As of right now, that's a no. That's a hard no. But who knows? It could change.
What do you mean he's just over here hating? I'm sure that they will be, if we have parties, I would love for them to come.
If we have parties, absolutely. But as far as this is the Valley. This isn't an extension of Vanderpump Rules. This is the Valley. And I'm really proud of our show. And I think it's not really fair to the rest of our cast members that have worked so hard just to bring people over, and do that. But like I said, if we have events or parties and that, of course, I'm all for that. But as of right now,
I'm all for it anyway. So whatever. I said I think it'd be fun anyway. I'm down for whatever.
So do you have any questions? I know we haven't been around. I haven't been here for the last couple of weeks, so I don't know if there's any questions for me.
Nobody got to hear your side, your take of Washington, D.C. You haven't been on the podcast for 4 episodes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I talked about it a little bit, but I didn't talk about it that much.
First of all, big shout out to Daily Mail. They put on such a great event for us. They took such great care of us. They were just so nice and hospitable and went above and beyond. I mean, I even forgot my bow tie. They went and got me a bow tie. Just little things like that. They always had drinks ready for us, and they were always just checking in on us. I had a wonderful time. It was like a bucket list of just to go to the White House, whether it doesn't matter what side you're on in the world, just to go to the White House or go to Washington and be around, all these very important people.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That basically run our country. We were literally in a room with the most powerful people in America for, 3 or 4 hours. And I was just looking around, taking it all in. And like I said, it doesn't matter what side you're on in the world. It's just you're in a room with people who make some serious decisions.
And there was people from every side there, every single news outlet. It was everything. It wasn't just
no. It didn't matter. Like I said, what side you're on, and really there was no really talk of that. It was just the fact that you were. I love that.
I love that. People were able to make jokes at the president, and the president was laughing at the jokes. Do you know what I mean? They were making fun of themselves and other people, laughing at themselves. And I think that was cool to see.
I think the host, Colin Jost, I think he did a good job. I think that job that he had to be really, really hard.
He did good.
You have 3,000 people in a room that you have to make laugh, and again, you got people that are on both different sides, so you have to make people laugh. And I think he did a pretty good job. Like I said, I don't think you could pay me enough money to do that. We also saw a really cool guy named Matt Friend, who I follow on Instagram, who does all these impressions, and he was really, really good too. Like I said, it was a once in a lifetime experience. We brought our lawyer with us, Joe. We brought our manager with us, Ryan. Yeah, I think in most part, it was a lot of fun. Did you have anything? I kind
of talked about it with Zach a little bit, but it was just a cool experience no matter what. We got to meet a lot of cool people.
I couldn't believe, and like I said, we were very low on the totem pole there when it comes to celebrities being there, if you even want to call us a celebrity or not. But the amount of people that came up to our table and said, Jax and Brittany, we're huge fans, love your show. Everybody was just so nice and so hospitable. And I mean, we had some really...
There was one time I was talking to somebody at the bar randomly, and then this other person walks up to him and is like, "Hello, Senator." I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I have no clue who the heck I'm talking to."
We went to an after party. We went to an after party at the Swiss Embassy, and we walked in.
Time magazine after party.
Yeah, and we walked in, and they were like, "Ambassador." I was like, Jax Taylor, reality star. I don't. What do you say?
Ambassador of the Valley.
He's like, hello. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen those movies, or every time you see on TV where the king and the queen go out and meet all these senators and ambassadors, and they shake their hands. That's what I felt like we were doing. I was like, nobody knows who we are. I don't know who anybody is. This is so awkward. I'm like, what is happening here? But it was a lot of fun. The Swiss party, the Swiss Embassy Time magazine party, whatever you want to call it, was awesome. Beautiful, beautiful house, and the food was good. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I like I said, it's a bucket list. I think my favorite part of the whole event, and I'm sure you can agree with me, Brittany, is the garden party. Oh, it was That was
the garden party was cool.
The garden party. I mean, I couldn't believe how many people came up to us. It was like, the Valley is amazing. It's so great. It just made us feel so good and so proud of the show that we created. And, you know, like I said, these are the most important people in our nation, in our country, coming up and knowing some of the stuff that we do. It was just, I was just taken back.
Yeah, it was very crazy, but super cool experience.
And I met like this, I don't know exactly his title, but he's way up there at McDonald's. and I can't remember his name. And then I met this girl and her husband was way up there at Coca-Cola. And I was like, oh my gosh, these are the two. I'm like, we are obsessed with McDonald's. We eat it all the time. We love it. And I think that was the highlight of my night, but it was just so much fun. Like I said, every time I turn around, I'm shaking somebody's hand. My smile was as big as can be. I was just honored to be there.
Yeah, it was really, really once in a lifetime cool experience, you know?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to answer some questions that you guys wrote into my Instagram at Brittany. This is from Jora M. Martinez _. Favorite trip you've been on for a show?
Probably Mexico.
Which one? We went a bunch of times, I feel like. Puerto Vallarta?
The Hotel Mosai.
Yes, we've talked about it on here before. That was probably mine, too.
Guys,
we ended up going back, 3 times after that when we filmed that because it was so nice?
You know, I'm always about going to different places all the time, unless it's in Atlantis. That's the only place I like to repeat. But I tell you what, out of all the hotels I've been into in Mexico, and I've said this before, Hotel Mosai is probably the nicest hotel.
We love
when it comes to staff, when it comes to location, when it comes to views. The food, and it is an all-inclusive, and I know people are kind of steer away from that, but it was amazing, and I can't stress enough how beautiful that hotel is.
Yeah, we filmed that on Vanderpump Rules, and then Jackson and I went back at least twice since then. We went for my 30th birthday. We love it there.
You don't even have to leave the property. It's that great.
Okay, this is from Annie Paris to me. Have you had your stomach checked for an ulcer or cancer? Because I guess now everybody's seeing how sensitive my stomach is. Yes, I have had my stomach. Like I had the cameras and all that stuff done. And also had my gallbladder removed when I was 23. So I've just literally had a sensitive stomach my entire life. Even whenever I was a kid, I've always had a sensitive stomach. But yeah, I've already had my gallbladder removed. It's just a thing that I deal with. But I will say these past couple months, I have felt a lot better. I have not been sick at all. So wonder what's going on there.
Maybe it's because you're living down the street.
That's where I'm going. This is from Allie or A Little Ooh 22. How have you been regaining confidence with your body? Looking for tips. Yeah, because this can be super hard, especially after having a child or gaining weight or anything like that. Like we just have to realize how much our bodies are amazing, especially that are giving childbirth. Like it was a struggle for me. It still can be a struggle for me because a lot about my body has changed, but I just try to remember, like, I created a cruise and that's the best thing I'll ever do in my entire life. And, you know, it was the most amazing feeling ever to be pregnant and know that I was growing a baby. So, you know, I just try to think of all the positives that I can while trying to work out again and get on the, you know, eating right and doing all this. It just makes me feel so much better mentally whenever I'm in the gym and feeling good about myself. Okay. This is from Elizabeth. That's funny. What would you want addressed if the Valley had a reunion?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't really know. I guess it wouldn't probably be anything with me. I think the girls, maybe Janet and Kristen and Michelle, would probably want to address and probably see where they are right now. I think that would probably be probably the biggest.
I think like Jesse and Michelle's relationship and our relationship.
Yeah, I think we would talk about it a little bit, kind of touch on it. But I don't want to give too much away because we're going to go right back into filming.
We're going to go right back into filming. We're going to go on to a whole season.
Yeah, and I'm really excited.
It's going to be exciting. Yeah. Okay, this is from Jamie Sheldon _ Will producers or camera crew drive you home when you drink at a bar filming? They get us Ubers every time and they pay for it. So they will never, ever, ever let anybody drink and drive. Like that does not happen.
I want to make that very clear. It's mandatory for us to take Ubers to all events.
Yes. We don't drive anywhere that we go.
Yeah.
And that's good because I hate driving anyway. Okay. Is there any other questions?
I think that's it. I had a random question but I can't remember who the name of the person was. Just like, you know, what was my idea behind the Valley, or why did I start create the show, I guess. And it was a couple of years ago. I'll just give you a brief thing. It was a couple of years ago. I thought, you know, Vanderpump Rules is not going to last forever. And I thought there's needed to be something else out there. And I thought talking about, mental health and postpartum depression and relationships and kids, I thought that would be really important. I think it would resonate with a lot of people. So I thought, you know what, let's do something about that and have obviously a little bit of humor in it as well. So that was kind of my idea behind it. And I hope everybody likes it. And I'm thinking everybody that's watching the show can kind of, relate to a lot of these things. So that was kind of my whole idea behind it. And like I said, I hope everybody's loving it and can kind of understand what's going on.
Are you going to give me any credit for anything ever?
What do you mean?
You always just try to take all the credit for doing it all.
I mean, I did have the meeting with Alex, and I did pitch my idea.
But we both said who should be on the show. I went out and talked to all the couples and get them on board.
That's true.
Had meetings with everybody, had them over at the house.
Yeah, I'm giving you credit. I'm giving you credit. You did a great job. And as well as my manager, Ryan, too. He also was a big part of this. And obviously, our producer and longtime friend, Alex Baskin from Evolution, has also had a huge part of this, too. So we couldn't have done it without all of us.
Well, that was interesting having Jax back.
Yeah.
A little rough in the beginning because we obviously have a lot of things that we have to talk about on the show as well. But
this is just stay tuned for next season, I guess.
I think we also got into some fun and funny times too. So I hope that you guys got to laugh it out with us and, have fun listening to our crazy relationship that we've got going on here. All right. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to When Reality Hits with Jax and Brittany. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week, everybody.
She talks about etiquette.
Get your fingers out of your mouth.
She talks about where to find a deal.
If you sell me something on Instagram, I buy it. Whoever markets to me does a fabulous job.
She talks about the economy.
We used to joke that'll be the thing to send them to therapy. Okay, we're creating jobs. Can we look at it that way?
She talks about parenting.
These kids want to come home. They don't want to leave. They don't want to drive. They want to stay in the womb.
Let's Talk with Heather Dubrow every Thursday on PodcastOne or wherever you get your podcasts.